What's up guys, my name is Tim. I've been fixing BMWs for over a decade now. Today we have 2010 BMW X5, which is E70, and we're going to be replacing the drive belt and basically doing the drive belt service. What I mean by that is replacing the drive belt tensioner and the idler pulley, which is very important. A lot of people miss that, but something you don't understand is the belt rarely breaks on its own. Something gets stuck, and it's usually a bearing in one of the pulleys or the tensioner slides out. I will show and explain everything to you. On this version though, like, you guys have to understand two things. Throughout those years on N52 engine, this one is a simpler version. So this job is pretty straightforward. Like, it's not going to take even 10 minutes of the video basically. We don't have adaptive drive in here, we don't have sports suspension, and we don't have 4-zone climate control. That's why the belt is different, the tensioner is different. On the models with any of those things, if you have adaptive drive, if you have the 4-zone climate control, if you have sports suspension, you will have different tensioner and you will have two belts. Like, this car has only one drive belt. It goes to AC compressor, to alternator, to power steering pump, to the crankshaft, and along the way to the tensioner. On other X5s like this, the same engine and everything, but you have 4-zone climate, let's say, you will have separate belt for the AC compressor. It's a stretch belt, and behind it would be the belt for the alternator and the power steering pump, and it goes to the tensioner with two pulleys. This one will have only one pulley, yours will have two. So how do you know? Well, 4-zone climate, easy. In the back, if you have controls in the back for the temperature, it's a 4-zone climate car. And if you have adaptive drive, well, you can pop the panel over there, but it's like, basically, call your dealer, just ask. That's all it is. Like, by VIN number you can decode any car. So without further explanation, let's get to this quick and easy repair for those lucky of you who have the simplest version of this engine. Before we start, guys, I want to remind you about the membership program. You have two different levels, $5 and $10. It's designed to help you out with your car troubles. Basically, for $5, you can leave a comment and I will see, it will be highlighted for me, so you can ask any questions in there, but we can't exchange any data or anything like that. So that's a $5. For 10, you can have direct access to me. You can send me an email with your codes, with your videos, like of the car, what's going on, and the process will go from there, basically. So if you need some help and some guidance, I can't tell I'm gonna fix your car if you just subscribe and become a member. It's not possible. I'll do my best. So please become a member if you want, and let's get to the video. Now, this repair is pretty simple. We remove the air duct, and from there we need to remove this reinforcement bar. So that's a cable for your locks, and those are 13mm bolts right here. There we go. The way to remove it is we lift it up, slide it forward, and get it out of here. Now we have access to the belt and the tensioner. As you guys can see, the belt is cracking. It's time to replace it, but that's not the only sign to do the belt service. I'll shine some light on it. As you can see right here, like, there's way more room on the tensioner's pulley than here, so the belt is slowly sliding this way, which can lead to the belt snapping. It will hit the crankshaft pulley, the belt snaps, it can get eaten by the engine. Basically, it gets through the front crankshaft seal, blocks the oil pickup line, and you are due for heavy repair. Basically, you'll need to replace the front crankshaft seal, you need to remove the oil pan to clean up the oil pickup line. Definitely don't want to do that. So the reason why it slides out like this, well, I think first of all, the tensioner fails like this. Secondly, the oil filter housing gasket leak. oil destroys everything on its way. It's like oil can destroy the belt as well. So more tension, the belt is weak and everything snaps and nothing good happens. The secondary part, it's like once we remove the belt, I'll show you how to determine if your pulleys are okay. I'm pretty sure they're not, and what kind of noises do they make. So first of all, we'll need torque 60 right here on top of the tensioner. This is where you put it on and you release the tension and you remove the belt. So we're gonna start with releasing the tension with this torque 60 goes on top. Hold on just one. There it is. So what we gotta do is just gonna push it forward clockwise. Remove the belt from the tensioner and let it go. That's it. There's no more tension on the belt. We can fully remove the belt. Let's get this one out. Alright, the belt is gone. In order to simply test the pulley, all you gotta do is spin it. See, this is a good pulley, but we have to replace the tensioner because it starts to twist anyways. So this doesn't make any noise, it doesn't spin. I'm trying to spin it and it stops. This is the idler pulley right here. It spins longer, but it doesn't make the noises that I usually hear. So this still a decent pulley, so I'm gonna remove it anyway since I got all the parts, and we will replace it with the new ones. But this is important. This pulley stops, locks up, it breaks the belt. This is a $20 pulley. The OEM parts for this job is INA, so we'll get those. And this one is a 16 millimeter bolt right there. This one's E14 in the center. And we also replaced the bolt, of course. So let's get to it. Now I'm going to use this 3-inch extension and E14 with just a regular wrench. And we just go down there. As I said, guys, it's a very quick and easy job. But doing this can prevent you from doing very expensive and hard job later on. So now it's loose. I'm gonna remove it fully. Probably the hardest part of the job is to install the belt back, but that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'll show you how to do that. All right, the bolt is out. Tensioner 2. It's a decent looking tensioner, but what happens, like something twists inside here. The metal deteriorates, I guess, like something definitely happening. It's INA as well, of course. INA makes those tensioners. Well, I don't know. Better safe than sorry at this point. Now, this is an idler pulley. We have to pop the cap first. I'll pick it up later. And now it's a 16 millimeter, so just a 16 millimeter socket. It's pretty tight in there, but after you loosen it, now it's completely loose. The idler pulley is out. This is INA as well. There's a back plate right here. The new one comes with it, and the new cap, so that's why I don't worry about the cap. Now, we'll start with the tensioner. As you can see, it comes like this. It's locked in place, meaning we will be able to install the belt and everything. Then we remove the tension a little bit and slide the pin out. It's like it's not, because it's under tension right now. So this is the new pulley, as you can see, same as the previous one. So this was a very decent pulley, not rotating, not making any noise. It's like the belt-driven noises, well, it's hard for me to describe them, but when you spin your pulley, you'll understand. Amplify it, it's like it's probably bad. So let's put the pulley back in place. Like this, this part right there only can go one way inside, basically the engine. It's not inside, but this tensioner can only be installed one way. Otherwise, it won't fit. This is how it's supposed to look. So it's really hard to mess this job up. Now it's fully in place. There we go. And the idler pulley. This is new back plate, and a new cover. So we'll start right there. That's it. Units are in. Now we got a new belt here. This one's from O'Reilly's. I don't like using their parts, but it's like Murray. Belt is belt. I prefer Continental for this car, of course. Continental Gates works the same way, but the belt is belt. Let's stretch it out a little so it's out of shape. Okay, the way I install it goes from N52 to N52. You hold it basically like this. I go over the AC compressor first. It's pretty much impossible to directly show you. So now it's over AC compressor. We take the top one and go over the alternator and under the pulley and over the power steering pump. Now we got it. So the only thing left is get it through the front crankshaft. I mean, crankshaft of pulley can only be in the front, but whatever. And it will usually get stuck at the bottom. It needs to be either pulled up or twisted a little bit. You'll feel the pop. So there we go. It's normal for it to pop out, let's say, of its normal positions. Yeah, it pops out. The goal is, hold on a second. Alright, it's good around almost all the elements. Like I can see the pump is free, the power steering pump. So now I'm gonna stretch it right here. Almost done. Just need to readjust a little bit. Now, and let's go over the tensioner. All right, just double check your belt at all the positions, the AC compressor, and it all looks good. Now we are back to releasing the tensioner. All we need to do is apply a little force and pull the pin out and let it go. That's all it is. This job is done. So now we'll put the bar back same way under the hose, sliding forward, going back. There we go. So 13 mils. And important, not forget to put your cable for the locks in, because it's very possible if you don't, you won't be able to open the hood. Happens. Not very possible, but happens. So and we're done. This is it, guys. Was nice and simple repair. Those of you who are lucky who doesn't have the four-zone climate and whatever belts like this. But for the other owners, all you need is a stretch tool to stretch the belt back on, and you're pretty much, the rest is the same. It's the same idler pulley, it's the same tensioner with the same torque 60. Everything is exactly the same, and the principle is all the same. It's just different routing of the belt, basically. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.